Hey everyone, what is going on? Lauren Sisler here with AL.com, and we are going head-to-head. Auburn, Week 3 of the SEC college football season, back home, Jordan-Hare Stadium, taking on Arkansas. Cole Kublik going to join us here in just a moment.
Oh, let's go now. Oh, now. Let's go now. Can't stop us. Let's go now.
Hey, Cole, what is going on, my friend? Can you believe it? Week 3. I keep saying week 3. I mean, technically we're going into week 6 of the college football season, but we've had some good football matchups as of late. Of course, this Auburn game that we saw last week in Athens, Auburn taking its 7th straight loss, falling 27-6. I just want to get your initial thoughts on that matchup, what you saw, what you didn't see, and what needs to change on the offensive side of the football out of the gates against Arkansas at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Yeah, not the best football game in Athens last week. And you and I both thought Auburn would find a way to win that game. I think the first thing that I noticed is recognition. And that's either the coaching staff or Bo Nix recognizing what the defense is, being able to identify a Mike linebacker, and being able to set protections in the run game really to where the defense is asking you to or allowing you to. And I thought they missed that a couple of different times over the course of the game. You saw slide protection go one way. The pressure came from the opposite direction, something that easily could have been picked up with the numbers that you had in and that you were facing, but it wasn't, because I think there was recognition that was lacking. Defensively, I feel like they gassed out a little bit. They were put in a lot of bad spots. They were on the field for a lot of that game, asking a lot against a team, even with maybe a little less talent at quarterback, a good offensive line, good backs, good receivers to be able to continuously get stops. So be more creative. Find ways to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. Involve your best player earlier, which is Seth Williams, and maybe you find a way to move the football a little bit more consistently. Good news for Auburn is you're not going to face the best defense in the SEC every week, and I think Georgia has that.
Bo Nix, we saw this last year. He really struggled on the road. He had some production on the road, but threw 7 interceptions on the road last season. Obviously, his first interception coming again against Georgia. And so I want to see Bo Nix really settle in this football game. We're not going up against the best defense in the country in the SEC. It's going to be quite a different look against Arkansas. But in the mind, when you watch Bo Nix go out there and play, where do you feel that he really struggles the most, and where do you feel like he's going to have to change things up, especially at Arkansas, and then you get down the road to your Alabamas and to your more difficult opponents? What's going to be the key factor for him as a quarterback?
I think past the recognition that we just mentioned, Lauren, it's comfort level. To me, playing quarterback is comfort and confidence. If you're comfortable with what the coaching staff is asking you to do, and what you need to do to successfully execute plays, and then you gain confidence with how to do that, you're going to be able to go out and find a way to make plays. Look at Stetson Bennett. I mean, he doesn't have half the talent that Bo Nix has. For me, it's Bo Nix finding a way to be comfortable with what he's asked to do and to be confident in going out and executing it. And the coaches have to help him with that. They have to find things that fit into that realm of what Bo Nix likes to do, wants to do, and can be successful doing. It can't be square peg, round hole. And one thing that I have taken away from this college football season, and maybe we should have known this 2-3 years ago, you can't just win with tempo anymore. Going fast is essentially a formation to me now. It's not. It can't be a lifestyle. You can add it and subtract it. You can show it, and it can be dangerous at times, but that can't be the foundation of your home. So I'm just going to have to find other ways to be creative, because this offensive line is not going to push people around. They're not going to play bully ball with anybody on their schedule, including this Arkansas defensive line that just had a really nice outing against Mississippi State, a pretty big physical offensive line in their own right, even though they're throwing the ball 60, 65 times a game. So find a way to get things that you're comfortable with, make your quarterback confident in what he's doing, and then go out there and try to execute plays that can move the ball and try to put points on the board.
So Arkansas's offense scored 24 points, 29 drives this season. The Razorbacks, they've rushed for 2.2 yards per carry. They've converted just 8 of 30 third and fourth down attempts. So, that kind of gives you a little bit of insight into what this Arkansas offense has put on the field. Here's the thing, though. They've got some confidence. They're coming off their first SEC win in a very, very, very long time. And so, there's some excitement there. There's, a little bit of juice in the tank, I think. And again, I don't think that Arkansas is going to be able to come in Jordan-Hare Stadium and push Auburn around, but I certainly think that's going to play into it. Cole, another thing looking at it is on the defensive side of football. There are some injuries. Obviously, Arkansas is marred with some injuries, and so we'll get some updates on that throughout the rest of this week. But defensively, what is going to be the critical thing that we need to see from this Auburn defense to say, hey, they can go out here and compete with the best of the best, even Georgia, if they got another chance?
I'm going to go back to what I said before the season opener, and I said that they needed to turn touchdown Terry into turnover Terry.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the same thing with Felipe Franks. He's a guy that has shown you in his past he will give the ball to the other team. You got to make him do it. Now, he didn't do it last week, and that's one of the reasons that Arkansas was able to only gain 275 yards and win an SEC football game. The bad news for this Auburn defense is he's a big physical guy that does have good mobility, that has legitimate SEC experience. He has a talented group of wide receivers that can take easy, high percentage throws and turn them into explosive plays. And he might, maybe a year, 2 years from now, or maybe even later this season, he might have the best play caller in the SEC. Because Kendall Briles is vastly underrated with what he does calling plays on the offensive side of the football. Rakeem Boyd hadn't even gotten going in this Arkansas offense yet, and he's one of the most dynamic tailbacks in the SEC. So I think this is a game that the defensive line, in a group that they're going to be more talented going up against, they're just better than this Arkansas offensive line. You must disrupt, you must penetrate, you must add pressure, you must be problematic over the course of this game, and then allow the second and third level of your defense to run around and make plays like they did against Kentucky.
I think that's a great point. And I want to know, KJ Britt, obviously such a tremendous playmaker for Auburn. He was banged up this past week. It was obvious that he was really struggling. Gus Malzahn commented that on his, in his press conference, that they were banged up, just not himself. So how critical will it be to get a guy like KJ Britt back there, really the CEO and leader of your defense, to start kind of, gelling guys together, bringing guys together, and making, this Auburn defense establish its identity once again against this Arkansas team?
I think it's important, but for some different reasons. I'll do you one better. I don't think he's the leader of the defense. I think he's the leader of the football team. And I've had people inside that facility tell me that they go as he directs, and he is somebody that football team will follow. And I think having that on the field is going to be critical, especially coming off a loss, coming off the kind of loss that they're going to be coming off of, and going up against a team that probably has some extra momentum. I mean, let's think about it. There's going to be some guys on that Arkansas team that want to hand one to Chad. There just are. And I don't always believe in the bulletin board stuff, but when it's personal, that changes things. And you can sort of fabricate that intensity. But when it's personal and the guy that you've dealt with and maybe you felt like did you wrong or didn't give you enough playing time or didn't help you succeed, that can realistically turn into 4 quarters of momentum for an individual and maybe multiple individuals. So I think you need not just the heartbeat of your defense, but of your team. And he's also a super physical presence when he's on the field. Just from a linebacking perspective, could they get by without him? Yeah, Jacoby McClain's been making plays. He's a really good football player. Owen Pope, really good football player. They can find a way to work around that, because I think Kevin Steele could probably just go with different personnel groupings and make it work. But you need your leader. You need the guy that everybody follows, and you need one of the most physical players on your football team to be able to bounce back and get back into the win column.
All right, Auburn, Arkansas, kicking off 3 p.m. SEC Network. I will be on the broadcast with Taylor Zarzer and Matt Stinchcomb. I don't know that I'll be eating chicken fried bacon, but you know what? Actually,
why not?
Wait a sec. I take it back, because I am actually going to do a little early birthday celebration and treat myself to some chicken fried bacon at the Asian restaurant. So, prediction, what's it going to be, Cole?
I'm going to go 24-17 Auburn. I think they find a way to grind one out. I do think this is going to be a motivated Arkansas team. The fact that Auburn's a little bit beat up. I mean, we heard Gus Malzahn earlier this week say, we hope we have Seth Williams with us on Saturday. That's a really scary statement, because I think the offense is totally different without 18 in the lineup. And if Sean Shivers is not back and not completely healthy, and then you're down maybe 2 of your best weapons, where do you go? But I do think that this Auburn offensive line can find success against this defensive line.
All right, 24-17 is Cole Kubelik's pick. You'll also see him on the sidelines, Mississippi State at Kentucky, 6:30 SEC Network on Saturday. Of course, you can catch him on 3-man front as well on WJOX from 10 a.m. to 2. Cole, we appreciate you. Peace.
It's guaranteed that I die legend. Yeah, son God, homie, I'm reverend. Breaks, just protecting my back.